Hello and good afternoon, Xbox Nation. Welcome to this week's new episode of the Xbox Lunch Break Special. I'm your host, Mr. BoomStick XL, and as you can see, folks, with this big old cheese smile, Starfield is just like I think 8 or 9 days away. I mean, I can't say that I have been more excited for an Xbox exclusive in probably the last decade. Honestly, again, there's been so many great games. You got your Gears 5, which is just phenomenal, and you've Horizon 5, which is great. And there's been so many others in between there. But there's something special about what's going on with Starfield. And you know that it's special because it's trending every day. There are many amazing community peers of ours in the podcast game that are playing it. Gaz on Daily has been out there, tweeting a little bit. Gaz, calm down, brother. It's NDA time. Take it easy. We're going to learn soon enough. He's loving it. A few people that I have spoken to who obviously can't tell me much are just all I keep getting is wow and OMG. And I can't believe what I'm playing. Listen, it is going to be something special. It is going to be a generational game already. It is probably going to be game of the year. But before we get into what's exciting us about some new information coming out with Starfield, we got to talk about, folks, the utter ridiculousness that went on over the weekend. Obviously, on Friday, we had an article come out from IGN, which, of course, basically taking negative Starfield news and trying to spin it into a clickable item for their platform, which I find to be utterly disgusting. Like I said, when IGN does these kind of things, folks, and again, I want people to understand this. I don't hate IGN. I dislike the way they do their business. And I don't owe them any favors. I don't have to say anything nice about them. Okay. There are many people that work for IGN that I look up to, that I consider to be incredible members of the community. Destin Legary happens to be one of those. I really like what he does when he's there, but I really appreciate what he does when he's away from IGN, on how he reports the news, on how he does his videos. And there are several others. There's tons of others. But I just find it ridiculous. Like I just don't understand how Xbox is like third tier and why they're treated in that fashion by IGN. I'll read the story verbatim. Now, I've had some back and forth with a few people that were pointing out that this really wasn't aimed at Bethesda or Xbox, that it was more so, an AMD thing. And here's the thing. That may be true. But when you say Starfield is lacking this, you're implying that the game is lacking something. And that is a clickbaitable title that I'm sure they got millions of clicks for, which is what the business is hoping to do. But I find it to be tactless. I find it to be disgusting. I get it. You got to sell your paper. But what if you wrote a good article that people were like, wow, I can get behind IGN. They're rah-rahing this game. You know what? I'll click on that and I'll read it. That's how you do your business. At least that's how the business is done here. And of course, we got to get into, and again, folks, you understand that I dislike controversy. That's not what this channel is about. We don't sell controversy. We sell conversation, excitement. We talk about the love of the industry, the love of gaming. That's what we're here for, right? But I'm going to tell you this right now. Mr. BoomStick XL is not going to shy away from putting people on blast that need it. And of course, we're going to talk about a particular moron who decided that it was in his best interest, because he needed the world to know how terrible of a design choice it was for the start screen of Starfield. And then we're going to get into, I'm going to bring Jeff Grubb into the conversation, because who doesn't love Jeff Grubb? He's growing his mane back, as you know, and you see when he's on this podcast. He had some very interesting and exciting things when he was talking about how Microsoft is double downing into the team that brought us Hi-Fi Rush. That's very exciting because that means that team is going to grow. That means they're going to have more help in the studio and potentially get even bigger games. We're going to get into that. But before we get to all of that, we got to welcome in this amazing panel. We got to say hello to Crazy Lou Gaming, who literally got in hot. Crazy Lou Gaming, how the hell are you?
Man, I'm doing great, man. So happy to be here. And man, lots of negative news out there about Starfield, which, hey, I'm going to tell you something. It's sad, but I have to say it. The negative brings out the positive. So yeah, let them go out there. Let them see all the negative stuff they got to say, because this is going to be a fantastic game for what it seems. But yeah, everything other than that, everything great, man. Just happy to be here. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, well, we're going to get into it. Like I said, folks, we're here to get excited about Starfield. I think it's, again, coming off of a year for most podcasts that the general conversation was ABK, and for good reason. I mean, it's a $70 billion deal. It is the biggest deal in Microsoft history. So, of course, we want to talk about it. We have all aspirations of what's going to happen when it becomes first party. We should be learning some information this week from the CMA, finally taking their heads out of the sand and actually doing something. If you didn't know, and this is a bit perplexing to me, they just passed a $61 billion deal that came in after ABK, which is a bit, questionable as to. I don't understand why you give about this and then you just let $61 billion deal go in the snap of a finger, or like you're lacing up your boot. But we hopefully will get them to finally step in front of the spotlight, stop being a bunch of dummies, and say, okay, listen, the rest of the world has no problem with this. We're going to pass it. Because at this point, they look stupid. I mean, let's call a spade a spade. 41 countries around the planet, say thumbs up. Only one asked for concessions out of the EU, which I think were fair. What are we doing? What exactly are we doing here? Are they stalling to help the FTC? The FTC was embarrassed. New leadership is hopefully going to be there soon, because the FTC is a former shell of itself. So let's hope that the CMA obviously, does the right thing and pass the deal. But we're not talking about that today. Hopefully by end of week, we'll be talking about that. So let's bring in Web Dave. Web Dave, brother, I truly appreciate you being here. Obviously, you got some stuff going on, but you're here. We're here to talk about games. Obviously, when we talk about games, it gets our mind off of other things. Yep. How you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling really good. Had a great show last night. Dropped a great interview today. So
yes, a really big one.
And I am on breakfast. I'm on the midday show with Boom, and so I'm so looking forward to that. I'm also on breakfast with Boom, but that's next. That's at the end of the week.
Yeah, it's Friday.
I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited. Let's talk games, man.
Yeah. We're gonna talk games. Of course, we're gonna talk about Starfield, one of the biggest releases. I dare say this generation. Now, the generation is not 3 years old yet. November makes 3 years, but I think when you look, and again, this generation's had a lot of really incredible games. For me, obviously you look at God of War Ragnarok, unbelievable. You look at Elden Ring, unbelievable. You look at Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, unbelievable. But I'm sorry to say, when Starfield officially releases on the 6th of September, it's probably going to go down easily as the most significant new IP to launch on any system in this generation. Fuzzy Belvedere, how are you feeling there, you kind sir? Are you feeling are you getting amped? Are you feeling what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and the funny thing is, I just dropped it in our chat. There's some breaking news as far as unfortunately they didn't do the complete console, but there's a Starfield wrap now for your Series X. So
you know what? Being that it's breaking news, sir, why don't you talk about that before we get into the controversy? Because I did not know about that. Where could we buy it, and how much is this thing?
They don't have pricing just yet. They just announced it. I'm hoping they release pricing here soon, and it looks like they'll have some camo ones. But yeah, prepping for some space exploration. Time to suit up. Announcing the Xbox Series X console wraps are here and made to perfectly fit your console. Try to see if I can put in
I'll put
a
it in your
link
DM.
to the video. But
Well, you know what? I will scroll. How about this? Let me screen share. Let me pause the Halo assault here, because by the way, I was doing really good in this game. I think I got like 17 kills. Let's pause that for a second. Let's do a screen share. Hold on just a second, folks. Let's do this live on the air. And here we go. Xbox. Let's bring it up. Let me see if I can bring this up in. Can I blow this up? Here we go. Okay. So here I'm gonna throw the sound on. Bear with me. Okay, sound's on. Let's see. Again, hold on just a second, folks, as we okay. Now, there is the here. So this is commercial he's talking about, folks. I don't know why I have no sound. That's the weirdest thing.
It may not have sound on it.
Yeah.
It may not have sound, Boom.
Maybe there isn't sound. Yeah, because there apparently there is no sound. All right, that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah, it just looks awesome. Like I wish they would have thought of this earlier.
Now I got to tell you, you know why I appreciate this? Because the way it looks, and is this gonna automatically play again? It is.
Yeah.
Okay, so check this out, folks. What it looks like to me, and I'm just spitballing here, is this actually seems like a jacket you are putting on your Xbox.
That's awesome.
Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I think this is effing ingenious.
Yep.
And I say that because I'm a guy who does not really go for the vinyl wrap kind of a thing, right? Like I know they don't stick to the console, but you know you're jockeying to make sure it looks right. Like who raise your hand, folks. If you bought one of these wraps before and you're like it's kind of a little bit crooked and you're like, all right, I gotta push the console in a way that it doesn't look like it's messed up.
I have the price. I have the price.
It's talk about it, brother. Breaking news.
$50.
$50. Okay.
That's not bad. That's like
bad.
basically what you pay for like the shells or the skins.
That's exactly what you would pay for like the like I bought the Spider-Man covers for my PlayStation 5 because like who the F is not going to do that? It's Venom. I mean, come on. This is dope. I'm going to tell you something right now. What's that, sir?
Say like your system for whatever reason gets damaged or goes bad. All you have to do is take the skin off.
Pop this right off.
Put it on a new one, so you don't have to worry about like, oh, I've lost the control. I've lost my special edition system. So it's smart. Okay, folks. So here's the thing. Now I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have went out and bought a $500 Starfield console. I'm not gonna front. I would have, whether it had been the S or the X, I would have bought it because I'm a collector, right? There's still a little bit of piece of smoke that I have to give Xbox for not doing it. But to be fair, I must tip the cap here because they basically pulled a Sony. Sony is giving players that want this Spider-Man console a custom console, but it's just the plates, right? This is very similar. This is first of all, what a way to open up the show with good news. Folks, we got it. You're going to have a custom console. I am buying this ASAP. Oh my God.
In the cart right now.
Me too.
Drop the link, brother. Where can you buy this from? And drop it in the DM so I can order this live on the air, folks.
I think it's on Amazon though. I gotta look for it then.
I'm on Microsoft's site right now, so let me.
Yeah, man, this is exciting, man.
Woohoo. I was not expecting this. Like we were talking about the ramp up
Shopping
now.
with Boom.
Listen, I mean, I'm sorry that I'm being quiet live on the air.
Awesome.
I got to. I'm sorry. Hold on a sec, folks. I'm going to order this right.
We got to order this. You know what's also good on that, because I'm going to tell you something. Every time I got to clean my Xbox Series X console because when you turn it on, sometimes your finger I don't know why it stains like the console, and this is also perfect because it's gonna quit staining it too. So that means it's easier to clean too. Woohoo! That's good too.
Okay, so again, folks, I am sorry for the silence. I hope that you are doing what I am doing right now. And I am literally pre-ordering this and paying for this live on the air because, like I said, I'm a big nerd and a fan. And if I miss this, I am going to be effing pissed. So stop what you're doing, right? Because get ready, folks, and order this immediately. I am ordering it right now. It is, hold on a sec, place order. It's done. I ordered it. Nice. There you go. Live on the air, folks. Here we go. Breaking news. The wrap in front of you. We are going to play that. We got almost 600 people here.
Comes out October 17th is a ship date.
Yeah.
October 7th. God, why couldn't this be for the launch? For the love of Joe?
Hey, man.
No way.
Yeah, it's all right. I was thinking the same thing, but
it's coming.
Yeah.
I listen. I guess if it's fine.
We'll still be playing Starfield.
We're still going to be playing Starfield. All right. So, folks, listen. I'm going to go to the Microsoft Store. I'm going to drop the link in for you right now, so you can go if you want to order it yourself. Hold on a sec. Starfield
I got
wrap.
Here, I'm dropping right here.
Ooh, free shipping. That's good.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna click on it, folks. Yep, here it is, and I'm gonna drop it in there for you right now into the chat. So if you want to order it, hold on just a second. Let me get. I'm putting it into the chat right now. There it is, folks. It's there. Click it, order it. This is. I gotta tell you. Did anyone have like 10 or 15 faceplates for the Xbox 360? Because I did. I bought them all. I had the retro one with the wood grain. I had the Halo one. I had the Gears one with the skull on it. And I was like, yo, this is dope. And I gotta be honest with you. This really is. Now, I had heard about this. One of my connections DM'd me. This is going back even before the show that this was happening. And I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it's a good one. And nothing happened during June. I was like, I'm glad I didn't bring it up. I had to look like a boob. Turns out that my connection, who I get a lot of really good things from, was absolutely freaking right. This is genius, because what this does for Xbox moving forward is that they don't have to spend the development dollars on a custom console. They can sell you a wrap, and then when you're done on like this game, and you want to use it for Skyrim, or you take this off, you fold it, you put it away, I love it. I think this is brilliant. I think this is absolutely brilliant. Thanks so much for the breaking news, Fuzzy Belvedere and Crazy Lou Gaming with the pricing, and of course, if you want to order it. The link, I'm going to drop the link here again for you. There you go.
Yeah, it's so awesome. Yeah, I just saw that as I was like scrolling through like our chat and everything, and I had the app formerly known as Twitter in the other window, and I'm like, wait, what? I was like, that looks like a Starfield console. I was like, no, it's a wrap.
Fun speculation. Obviously, Mav brings up a great point. He says they need to make a Series S version as well.
Yes.
Very, very smart.
And the cool thing is with Velcro. Nice. You can slap it on with Velcro. No issues.
Is it Velcro or is it magnetic?
You wrap it. It says here, each Xbox Series X wrap is fastened by a Velcro enclosure. No tools or adhesives required. So that is awesome. That is really awesome.
Yeah, that's smart. Like I said, absolutely brilliant. It really does take a page from Sony's book with the covers, where they can sell you a pair of covers for your PlayStation 5, and it becomes the Spider-Man console that I'm gonna have, along with the matching controller.
So wait a minute.
Like I said, I'm a big old nerd like that. But this is dope. they have a couple of Dragonheart Yobi says that there are two camo versions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a big fan of them. They have controllers out the yin yang with the camo stuff. I don't know. I'd love to see a Forza Motorsport one.
Yeah,
that would be dope.
Yeah.
Maybe stripes.
Oh my God.
I'm hoping this is a trend that they continue with, like some of their big IPs.
This is gonna sell like a shit ton. Pardon my French, because look, who in the chat here wants everything Starfield? I got the controller. I got the art book coming. I got the headset. I went to Etsy and I got the custom stand, which looks really, really good. It was like, I think after tax, like just under $40. It's a little pricey, but it's custom. It's a custom stand and it looks like a Starfield stand. It's dope. This is just a cherry on top for me personally. Okay, so let's get into some of the controversy that happened, folks. I'm going to stop this footage, and I'm going to bring up the Halo footage of me kicking ass and taking names. Let me just pull up the my Twitter account because that's where it is. I closed it out. I hate being unprepared. Give me a second, folks. Yeah, this threw me for a loop. This thing.
Sorry.
No. Don't you dare be sorry, brother. This is it's really good stuff. Okay, so where is it here? Where is it? Okay, so this is the article. This was posted by IGN. And here's the thing, man. Like I'm not going to war with IGN. They're a $1 million conglomerate, and Mr. BoomStick XL barely has 13,000 subscribers. So I'm like the no big deal in the room. And that's perfectly fine, folks. I'm okay with the mom and pop way we're doing things, but I'm going to call it out because I would expect you to call me out if I ever pull some shit like this, right? You call me to the carpet and I will answer. And if I effed up, I'm going to stand there and take the tomatoes because that's the kind of man I am. IGN posted this. And again, it's one of those posts that you don't need to talk about negative stuff when it comes to Xbox, but somehow or another, they always seem to do that. I don't get it. I understand the business. I'm not a boob, folks. They need clicks. They want the listen. I'm a retired New York City police officer, and I worked in community affairs. Like what I'm doing here right now with you folks, I did as a cop. Now, don't get me wrong. I locked up over 400 people in my career. I used to hunt the bad guys. That's what I did. And I did everything, plain clothes, you name it. But my forte was community-based outreach programs and working with the kids. I was a youth officer for almost half my career, and I absolutely loved it. There is something to be said about the way the news is today. And if you're a journalist in actual news, like you work for the Times, if it bleeds, it leads, right? That's their motto. So if a cop beats down on someone illegally, we're going to run with that because that's going to sell papers. But you're never going to hear about, like my wife and I used to adopt a class every year from random schools in my precinct, and we would celebrate the holidays with, gifts for those kids on that one class. And it was self-funded. Like we did that ourselves and no one knew about it. And we didn't want anyone to know about it because it's just something that we did, right? I used to dress up at McGruff and my wife would come and help me. And I don't know if anyone's ever been in one of those outfits. I'd probably lose about 10 pounds in a day. You sweat like an animal in those things, but I love doing that. That's what I did. So getting back to this IGN story, this is what they posted. Someone has gone through the preload files of the PC version of Starfield, noting that they did not find any signs of the game supporting NVIDIA's DLSS technology. Okay. Now, is it saying that Starfield is the worst thing since sliced bread? No. I'm imagining that's going to come at some point from somebody in big gaming media. But my point is, why? Why on the same day that your good-for-nothing company, on the same week that you are being presented this unbelievable privilege of reviewing the game, and they didn't just get one copy. I'm sure they got minimum 10. So I'm sure Destin Legary is going to have a review on his channel. I would definitely can't wait to check that out. He's reviewing it. We know Ryan McCaffrey's reviewing it because obviously he's the Xbox guy. Of course he is. He's not reviewing it. Someone else. But my point is, I didn't get one, right? Like, and I'm okay with it. Again, the channel is still way too small. It's perfectly fine. I'm going to play on the 31st, like everybody else. And I'm going to try and, put a significant amount of time in so I can get an in-review progress. I would have loved to be reviewing it, but I just didn't get a code. It's fine. But that's what's annoying about this. Instead of celebrating, hey, we were giving X amount of codes for IGN to review one of the biggest games for Xbox in the past decade, this is what they lead with. And to me, that's what's frustrating as an Xbox fan. Forget host of the Xbox Factor podcast or the Xbox Lunch Break special. Forget all of that. Just as a gamer, when you look at the shenanigans that consistently goes on with IGN, it's disappointing. It's like, when the F are they going to tip the cap and give them the W, man? Like, I don't get these kind of stories. I'm going to go first to Crazy Lou on this. Crazy Lou, please reel me in off the ledge of madness.
Oh, here's the thing about the negative about this, which I always see at the end of the day, it's positive, because the more negative they talk about it, because it's sad that nowadays negative turns into positive. I do not know why, but it happens a lot. I mean, I'm gonna mention this game, but I'm not saying it like it was a positive thing, but everybody remembers what happened with the Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy.
You're talking about with the controversy with the author.
Whole,
yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
With the author, yes. And seriously, yeah. I always say that I do not agree when somebody with a big name goes out there and speaks their mind, even though they have like an issue against something like that. I do not agree with that. If you have like something, just keep it. Like I always say, keep it to yourself. If you have something to say, just keep it to yourself and say it out there. It's never nice. But look what happened to that game, though. That game sold how many copies? Like 12 million, 15
It's
million
probably
copies?
One of the best-selling games of 2023 so far, without a doubt. Yeah,
and that's the thing. I mean, it's incredible that, because here's the thing, what these guys don't get. You guys are jumping into this game, and you guys are saying, "Oh, look, for example, the title screen, right?" that was something I'm still laughing about. And
we're gonna get into it, because that guy got the smoke, and he didn't just get the smoke from me. He got the smoke from Pete Hines, which I have his quote. We're going to get into that. Shout out to Pete Hines for getting out there and defending his team. This is what you love about Pete, and this is what you love about Todd. They get out there and they take the arrows, and they did just that. But please continue.
and what I love about the article is how they say it might not have the AMD. It might. So the question is, it might not. Yeah. But here's the thing, though. Why do you want to go out there and say that? I mean, just wait till the game releases for you to confirm it. Just don't go out there and just talk about it just to make it look bad, because, hey, you're just wasting your time. Because what happens if at the end of the day, the game does come out with the AMD thing? Oh, my God. I'm going to be laughing my butt off against them right there, because why are you guys making up these articles just to talk negative about Xbox? They're always looking for what negative thing to say about them, especially when they're doing a pretty good job. And right now, what is it doing? Look at all of us. We have our gloves on. We're going out there. We're like champions right now, saying, "Hey, you're talking bad. Why? What's the reason? Why is it? What did they do to you? Right? Oh no, we gotta say it because it might not have it, but." I don't understand why you gotta go out there and write an article about something that we do not know if it's gonna have it or not. Just to be negative about Microsoft or Xbox. There's always gotta be a negative thing. But either way, like I said, let them talk negative. Go ahead, talk all the negatives you want. Because hey, at the end of the day, I mean, even what's this guy's name? There was this. I don't know. I think he's a singer. or I don't know what he does. I saw a tweet that they asked him, "Hey, are you going to be playing Starfield?" He said, "Yes, I will be playing Starfield." I mean, everybody is looking forward to this game. It's insane. Look at that YouTube video with Adam Savage. Oh my, is Adam Savage's name?
Right? Dude, that guy is wow. Like I watched the video once and I want to watch it again because he is, first of all, he's great. He's a great entertainer, and he's building a Starfield shit, man. I mean, like, come on.
And I even posted a tweet. I said, "Hey, Sarah Bonnet said it. Sarah, Phil, Aaron, I don't know, to everybody out there, why don't you guys sit down with Legos and get a Lego Starfield ship out there? Oh my God, I will definitely buy one. I will definitely buy one and build one. I mean, seriously, it deserves it. And you see how much people are looking at this game and wanting to play it and talking about it, and famous people. It's incredible. So really, IGN, sad for you trying to, bad for you trying to bring this article out there saying it might not have it, trying to bring a little bit of negative news to it. But at the end of the day, dude.
The guy's name was Post Malone, which, by the way, that dude has lost like 50-something pounds. You see what he looks like now? That looks amazing. P.S. By the way.
And like I
Thanks
said,
to Wade Johnson. Actually, Safe Space Invader dropped that. Yeah, I like Post Malone. I don't like all the tats on his face, but I like Post Malone. I definitely don't.
Everybody's hyped for this game. It's insane how the hype is. And for them to go out, like I said, for IGN to go out there and try to make it look bad, I'm sorry. If it does frustrating.
It's frustrating. It honestly is. Look, I see where you're going. And what I want to know is when we're going to see a celebratory IGN. Like, when are they going to go around and again, I get it, folks. Remember what I told you earlier, and I swear to God, this isn't journalism. This is for real. If it bleeds, it leads. That's a fact. That's what they teach these kids, because if it's terrible news, it's going to sell papers. And I totally understand that it's a business, but for God's sakes, when is enough, man? Like I'm hoping that Microsoft gets so big and they become a power platform, meaning that they are going toe-to-toe with Sony on everything, where IGNs of the world are going to have to start effing tiptoeing on these kinds of stories, because if they piss them off, oops, I guess you're just not getting a review copy. Because that's what if I was running the ship and I saw these article after article, hit piece after hit piece, I'd be like, F you. You want something, you come to us, you do it the right way. I'm sorry. Yep. I don't need you. You need us. That's the way I would do it. And again, it's look, I'm not going to get into finger pointing. You know how I feel. Continue, Louis.
And what's also funny? It's incredible on how many people have received these review codes, right? And when you see on Twitter and you see these guys that they have been playing it. I mean, there's one out there. I'm not going to mention his name. He said, "Oh, I see September is going to be super busy for me." He mentioned, I was like, "Oh my God!" And then earlier today, I saw a person that Mr. Webdave interviewed. He said, "Oh, I think he said he's like a cowboy, a special cowboy. I don't know. I forgot what his tweet said, but he mentioned something. But what it seems and what I'm seeing is that these guys are having so much fun with this game.
Yep.
They are having fun. I mean, literally, they're having fun. And then you see the IGN coming out there trying to make it look bad. And then you see, which we will get later on, that guy with the menu, which I'm still laughing about it. I got something to say about that menu thing, but yeah. But seriously, you see all these guys who's playing this game and how much they are enjoying it. Man, it gets me more hyped and more pumped up. So shame on IGN for making that article. They should have just wrote something else or talk something positive about it, or say or give a hint, but not say, "Oh, it might not come." I mean, why would you want to do it?
Ridiculous.
Just to get the haters to click on your thing? Okay, go for it. I just hope, like you said, at the end of the day, I hope that Microsoft gets big and says, "Hey, you know what? The hell with you. You guys remain, But let's see what happens."
No. Listen, I put it to this way: if you are a negative content creator, right, and you're constantly dumping on Xbox there's a good chance you're not going to get a code. As a matter of fact, what's that knucklehead's name with the glasses that's always yelling? Reforge Gaming. Like, I don't know the guy, right? Like, I don't know him, and I don't care to know him. I don't like his content. I don't like people that just yell all the time. That's just not my thing, right? He actually he built his channel on hating on Xbox, and he actually did a podcast asking why he didn't get a code, complaining he didn't get a code. Like, are you listen, I have 3 freaking Xbox shows and I didn't get a code. Like, are you serious? You're a hate mongerer and you're wondering why you didn't get a code? I'm listen, this is not an act, folks. I was like this in uniform. That's why they called me Officer Friendly on my beat, because I actually do love everybody. I care about everyone. It doesn't matter what your race, your creed, your sexual orientation. I don't care. You're a person and you're not a terrible person, we can hang and I will help you. So if I didn't get a code, like, are you serious? But listen, enough. We don't talk about him because that's giving him clicks, and I don't want to do that. Web Dave, let's talk about IGN stupidity, because again, it doesn't cease to amaze me. Like, when it happens, I'm like, bah, that's IGN. But why? Why in the same week that your company is being given this incredible privilege, because that's really what it is, folks. If you are playing Starfield right now for a review for your channel, for your publication, for your connection with Bethesda or Xbox, say, for instance, you work for them and they got your code, you are being given this incredible opportunity that a lot of people that work incredibly hard, and I'm not the only person to get a code, didn't get. So IGN being like this big conglomerate that a lot of people, they have millions of people that tune in. Why is the first article have to be done maliciously in this way? Like, I don't know, man. Can you help me out? Can you explain to me why this is happening?
What I can say from what I've seen is that the number one selling console in the market is PlayStation.
Well, yeah, for obvious reasons, they're selling hand over fist. Correct.
They're gonna cater to their PlayStation audience, and a lot of PlayStation, not all by any means, but there's quite a few people that'll tune into IGN because of their perspective. It's one of the reasons why I don't watch them anymore, and why I became a big fan of Mr. BoomStick and started watching his shows. Well, it's true, because of the perspective. I didn't like their perspective. I thought it was garbage. I mean, not everybody there is garbage. That's not what I mean. But
no, we know what you mean. Yeah, you're not throwing anybody. You've interviewed several people that work for IGN, and they're great. They're great people.
And it was very pointed in the discussion, and what they're doing is what businesses do to make money, which is they cater to their audience what kind of content that they will click on to give them the money they need to continue their monster. What's going to be interesting in the future, and a future I think is coming upon us faster than IGN was probably ready for, is in the next few years, and definitely by the next console quote unquote generation, there's going to be a big switch, a big movement in the market. Microsoft may not become the number one console, but the gap is going to close increasingly. It's starting with Starfield. That's really going to be the big push, and well as the other things that they've got, the surprises they have for us in store over the next few years, and the direction that Phil's taken the company. That is actually going to make those, I guess, the bigger markets and bigger producers of content. They're going to have to start coming either to the middle, or they're going to have to really reevaluate where they're going to be, because if the audience, people buying consoles in the marketplace, is going toward Microsoft more and more, and their audience grows and grows, and they get a bigger market share, then they're going to have to, being in the quote unquote gaming news industry, they're going to have that lens a little wider, and you'll probably see not as many pointed stories as far as the dagger knife sticking out as much as you. But until then, there probably will be these kind of quote unquote hit pieces for the simple fact that that's what drives their narrative for now. But they'll be at some point, because we know Sony's not a total angel, that there will be creeping in a few hit pieces for Sony over the next couple of years, calling out something that they've done. And then, of course, there'll be Sony ponies that'll be like, what are you doing? I can't believe IGN would ever write an article about this. Why? What are they thinking? And it's the nature of the beast. I know it doesn't, and I'm not trying to make it so simplistic, but it's
but you're making
money
it
drives
digestible.
Everything.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
There you go.
It's a good take, for sure. Listen, I want to bring in Fuzzy Belvedere, but before we do, first of all, there's a couple of things that I gotta say. For the first time ever since starting this new Monday show, we have broken past a record of 713. We're sitting at almost 850 people here, which is, it's madness. This is still a very small mom and pop kind of a channel. We are incredibly grateful for the views. We are averaging, and I mean, I'm telling everybody the numbers, but you're my family, right? Everyone in the chat, I consider you guys to be like an extended family. We're averaging 25,000 views per week, which is crazy. I know we do a lot of content. It is Monday through Friday, but 25,000 plus views per week is why we're closing in on, we're a stone throw away from 5 million views. And again, this is a relatively small channel. We're not even at, we just broke through 13K. So if you're new and you're finding the channel for the first time, we're on the hunt. I put a goal, Mrs. Boom and I said, you know what, let's throw 15K on the board. Can we hit it? Well, we're at 13.2 now. There's still a bunch of the year left. If you're new, you find the channel for the first time, please consider subscribing. Help us get to, try to get at least close to 15K. That would be pretty dope. Fuzzy, before I bring you in, I do want to reach out and grab these super chats. Eternal Shaddai, generous friend of the program. And real quick, I got to give him a shout out. He has gifted so many Double Barrel Gaming memberships. Over the weekend, we checked it. We have, again, it's a bit humbling when I tell you the number. There are 173 members. That is crazy. I went and I spent about 2 hours updating the list. Everyone that's there, even if you were gifted a sub, is there. You're going to stay there. I hope that at some point when it's time to re-up, you consider. Because we are going to use that those funds to reinvest in the channel in many ways. But again, towards the end of the year, starting in September, from September to December, Mrs. BoomStick and I are giving away $3,500 worth of prizes in 4 shows. 2 $500 ones in September and November, and December is where it's going to get expensive. We're giving away $1,000 on our 5th annual Christmas special. Last year we did 1,000. We're going to at least match it. And of course, in December, if it's released, and I think it's going to be, at least according to Colt Eastwood, December 1st is when Stalker 2 is supposed to come out. Mrs. BoomStick and I are giving away 15 copies. We're buying at 76.43 here in New Rochelle, New York. 15 of those. I'm going to give them away. Your choice of PC or Xbox. To kind of help the small developer that's making it, because obviously because of the Ukraine and Russian war, they had to be relocated, and it's just our very small way of kind of giving back to a small studio. And we can't do any of that without these super chats and the channel memberships. So thank you, Eternal Shaddai, for all the gifted memberships that you have done. He drops a very generous $2 super chat and says, great show, Boom and panel. So thank you so much for that. Crazy G14 drops a very generous £2 super chat and says, it also looks to be reversible. So 2 options. I was wondering that. That's a great point, Crazy G14. I thought that it looked reversible, like it was like a darker version of it. If it is reversible, that would be kind of dope. I'm not going to front. We have B Martin 001 dropped a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Love the show, Boom. Keep up the fantastic work, brother. Brother, that is very kind of you for not only the being here and the generosity, but of course the kind words." Jacob Novick drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, "Hi, one, ordered it even if I only have an S right now. See, the hype is real. And two, imagine Call of Duty themed plates. Dude, that would be epic. Oh my God, I love it. Three, Twitter streets rumors has it that CMA approves the ABK deal. Yes, Tom Warren over the weekend. And who doesn't love Tom Warren over at The Verge? Because, well, why not? Tom is a good dude. He said that according to what he has heard, the CMA is going to announce something during Gamescom. We'll see. I mean, why wouldn't they approve it? I'm just sorry. They're literally the last freaking entity in the world to approve this. It's almost embarrassing at this point. Honestly, it's just almost embarrassing that they would be this far gone just to prove it. Take your concessions and just keep it moving. They literally just passed a $61 billion deal as quickly as I tie my boot.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
I don't get it. Yes, sir.
I dropped something in the private chat for you. It's the a member chat.
Oh, okay. Whole Grain Bread drops, who's been a channel member for 1 month, says, did you see Pete Hines call out the failure Mark Kern? Yes, and we are going to talk about that. I have his direct quote, and we'll talk about Mark Kern. I don't get it. I don't get it. I know that there's a thing now that you can get paid by Twitter for clicks. They offered it to me. They offered it to Double Barrel Gaming. We denied it. We don't want no part of that. We tweet because of the love of gaming and the community. So when I tweet, I'm not looking to make money off of anybody. It's fine, which is, it's not my thing. They offered it to us. We don't want it. Apparently that's what this guy was doing. And every time his name was mentioned, he got a penny or something. I don't know. We'll break it down in a hot second. Let's see. Fanto Sir drops a very generous £2 super chat and says, IGN, the first three letters of ignorant. Boom rocks. Thank you very much. Yes, you can't spell ignorant without IGN, apparently. Drawn TJ drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, we need a Doom Planet Halo. Yes, a Doom Planet, a Halo Planet, a Master Chief board your ship. I think we're going to get that. I think minimum you're going to get a Doom Planet. You may even get like a Fallout 76 planet. There's just no doubt about it. The modders, folks. That's why Bethesda hires them, because some of the modding community is just crazy good. Roshan Impenger drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, it's not about clicks, and I can prove it. If they ran with a negative PlayStation story or a PS News, they'd get 100 million clicks out of the 140 million plus user base every time. Pure bias. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. He's not wrong. Dean Rivera drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, IGN is a thing of the past, just like G4 TV, and needs to go away. IGN is too biased, and we have too many amazing content creators doing a better job. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think they are ultimately afraid of, they're not afraid of me. I got 13K, big deal. But I think when you look at the power or the engagement of someone like a Randall Thor or a Dealer Gaming or a Colt Eastwood. Now, these are 100K subscriber bases that are ultimately going to pull your eyes away from trash. Like IGN used to be like in the upper echelon of great journalism. Now I consider IGN, like I do Kotaku and GameSpot, as being like the Inquirer. Like, and when you're on the line for your shopping and you see like Elvis Bang's Alien, that's the rag magazine that these places have become. It's very unfortunate, but they put themselves in this position by reporting garbage. That's what they do. Let me pause off real quick on the super chats. I will come back to them. I do want to bring in Fuzz Belvedere. Let's talk about this negative IGN story. I think if it's clicks, right? If clicks of what we're going for, Fuzzy, wouldn't it be better to be like, hey, PlayStation community, this is the game that you should go out and buy an Xbox? You don't think that's going to drive traffic to be like, well, let's see what the H they're talking about.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird to me because as someone that has a PC with an NVIDIA card, I'm not as worried about it. Although FSR is like a much lesser scalar than like DLSS. But the big thing about it is there's ways to approach the topic. And considering that Bethesda's already given some of the modders that, like the ones that have done previous Bethesda titles where they've added DLSS to that title, they already have a copy of the game. So it's like more than likely by launch, we'll see a beta for DLSS. But you would think there would be better things to talk about, like the fact that review copies are out. There's going to be pretty much the early access, which you can already preload the game. It's gone gold. There was that whole controversy on the app formerly known as Twitter about, it hasn't gone gold yet. And, it was going gold pretty much as soon, or it was going to go gold anyway. And they now want to take credit as that was for, because they pressured them. It's like, how about you pressure for factions? But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, IGN just seems like they intentionally want to draw negativity or feed off of that negativity as far as the traffic, the engagement, because unfortunately, a lot of us fall for it. They'll put something negative, we'll respond, that gives them engagement, gets them more clicks and things like that. And then you'll have like the fans on the other side of the spectrum, like, poor Xbox, and just run with those narratives, even though by the time the game comes out, it's no longer a valid, issue or concern. So IGN is famous for this. I mean, whether they're leaving Xbox off as a platform when it comes to showing upcoming games, or not mentioning Xbox players by platform. Oh, some players will be able to It's like, yeah. So IGN to me is, I won't say they're dead to me, but it's like,
they're dead.
They're definitely a dinosaur in this industry, and it's showing. And at least they haven't stooped to the level of Gamer Rant or Game Rant or whatever it is, where every other thing is like, this game's or Starfield's loss is this game's gain or something like.
Yeah, just dumb.
A lot of the titles don't even make sense. It's like IGN is going to be IGN all this time, and until they realize, hey, maybe the Xbox platform is gaining some traction, at least in certain regions. Probably like in the US, they'll see some bump in coverage or market share and things like that. So at some point, they're going to have to change their message to address a customer base that they're pretty much at this point pissed off or pissing off if they haven't already, type of deal. So they're going to have to deal with that at some point, hopefully before they file bankrupt. But in my opinion, I really don't care. I stopped paying attention to them when they made a whole big to do about the blades of grass in Grand Theft Auto, and not realizing that you saw more AI people and cars on the Xbox versus on the PlayStation at the same time. Oh no, but it was 900p versus 1080p and stuff like that. And they, every so often they'll bring up, batteries in a controller. Oh, it's batteries in a controller in 2023. It's like, yeah, but you have options. And it's like, if you ever look at the PlayStation controllers where they have the built-in batteries, like my PS5, I tried not to cave into having 2 controllers because I'm the only one playing on my PS5. So why do I need 2 controllers? The controller should last an entire session.
I bought 2 because I always buy 2 controllers, and I got a third coming because I ordered the Spider-Man one, and no one plays PS5 but me. So
yeah, but they make it so the battery only lasts like half a session. So it's like you have to have to in order to play the game the way you want to play it, kind of thing. And when it comes to like built-in batteries, like the Series 2 Elite, that built-in battery lasts pretty much like 4 days without even sitting it on the charger, playing the same 8-hour sessions in comparison, and no problems whatsoever as far as battery life. It's like I'm still pretty much almost at the full bar, or at least at like 3/4 of a bar in that time frame. So yeah, IGN needs to focus on stuff that matters, like the whole melting USB ports on the PS5, or things along those lines, like, or just focus on positive news, like, yeah, I know nobody really pays attention to the kitten in the tree type of thing versus the fire that took out a whole shopping mall, but at least focus on some of the positive news, like, hey, this week these games are coming up, you can preload them now, it's available for this platform, and we're reviewing it. See you guys on the 31st for the review, and just leave it at that. But it is what it is.
It's gross. I don't get it. I don't. Like I said, I'm hoping at some point that Microsoft, or specifically Xbox, just becomes so gargantuan that because the question that I bring up, and you can answer it however you want to answer it. I'm going to give it to you honestly. Would they ever do this to Sony? The answer is no. They would never. Because Sony butters their bread. That's a fact. So even if Sony was doing some pretty egregious things, as they've done before, they would never come out against them. And when you hear somebody from IGN say, well, there's no conspiracy. No, there's no conspiracy. There's only just bias. So, again, take this for what it is. Have your own opinion. I have mine. That's why I don't support IGN anymore. I just won't, because I don't like this kind of reporting. I just don't. I find it to be just ridiculous. But I want to bring up the other controversy that comes the way of. Now, I didn't know who this guy was. Apparently, his name is @Grums. On Twitter. He's a former developer, a former CEO who was fired for his shenanigans. So what he said, and again, he was called out by pretty much everyone. Jez Corden, Pete Hines, most of the credible personalities in gaming called him out. Physiognomy of start screens, he writes. The start screen of a game can reveal a lot about how rushed the team was and how much pride they took in their work. Starfield start screen either shows hasty shipping deadlines by a passionate team overworked, or a team that didn't care. Now, I was under the impression that he got a review copy. Apparently, he's got a screen share from somebody. He doesn't even have the game. Now, Starfield's screen, his start screen is a start screen. It says Starfield. It's got a planet. It's got the sun coming around the planet, and it basically says the menu says new load settings, photo gallery, crew, quit. It's clean. It's simplistic. It's a freaking start screen. Well, he got smoke. This guy got a lot of smoke. And what's crazy to me is, of course, he's a negative POS. So, of course, there's going to be people rallying around this. And Jez Corden responds to him and screen caps what he wrote and says, "Fella is on some drugs." Tom Henderson. You don't know who Tom Henderson is? Well, let me remind you. He is the owner of Insider Gaming IG. That's who he is. Tom Henderson, pretty relevant person in gaming media. He says this: his recent timeline screams that he wants a bigger Twitter blue payment by making shit takes, so I'm not surprised. Well, I mean, listen, that's just what it is. Again, it's one of those takes that make you scratch your head. So, of course, there were several people that, put out some screens of other games that were widely, highly reviewed. Peter Ovo 5 on Twitter put out the start screen for The Last of Us 2. In its sense, very similar. It's The Last of Us 2. If you've never played it, it's a window with some curtains and some greenery growing in. Press start button. Super, super simple. But you see, where this goes off the rails, folks, is who this person is. Turns out, according to his Twitter bio, his name is Mark Kern, former CEO and designer, former team lead at OG World of Warcraft, producer. He has Diablo 2, StarCraft, Chrono Trigger is the best game. Turns out, folks, that Mr. Kern was fired from his last job as CEO because he didn't bother showing up. And you know what makes it worse? What makes it worse is that I pulled up, thanks to, again, I got to give credit where credit is due. And like I said, I'm doing this live on the air. Let me just, let me find it. Apparently, okay, so let me read you. I'm going to find it. I'm going to do a screen share. I'm going to show you what his start screen looked like on his games that he was from the team that he was fired from. But I want to read you Pete Hines' response, and I'm going to get everyone's opinion, hot take on this. And Pete Hines responds and says, or they designed what they wanted, and that's been our menu for years and was one of the first things we settled on. Having an opinion is one thing. Questioning out a developer's care because you would have done it differently is highly unprofessional coming from another developer. Again, this is one of those things, gentlemen, a start screen, and this guy's just a POS troll. And obviously he's trying to make money, which is it's even more gross. I'm gonna go first to Fuzzy on this. Fuzz, let's get your hot take on this ridiculousness.
Before I even touch on Pete Hines' response, it's a start screen. It's not the game, it's a start screen. If you're sitting there looking at the start screen for more than a couple of seconds, or to click on options to make sure the controller is set the way you want, there's something wrong. It's a start screen. You're supposed to play the game, hit the start button to get into the game. Why are we even talking about a start screen? I have not the slightest clue. I mean, other than this knucklehead, making mention of it, but it's like, goddamn right, excuse my language, that Pete stands up for his team. And it's like, if you're going to be a developer and you got a critique, that's great. But glass houses, like when
I wrote that in my tweet.
Yeah, it's like when your start screens are even less inspiring. I mean, the awe of space is enough, so you don't really need to have an elaborate start screen. Like if you play Star Citizen, or if you play EVE Online, or if you play Everspace, or if you play Mass Effect, it's like you might see a ship, or you'll see stars, some space, and a planet. It's like, what more do you really want to see in a start screen? Like, other than the buttons and the menu stuff. Like, no, but I don't know. Obviously, this guy is trolling to make money off of his, bad faith, crap posts, to just get engagement from, people that are going to, call him on his BS. And, good old Pete. Yeah. Uncle Pete standing up for his team was the greatest thing. And it's like, It's almost like I wish this guy was still in the industry to the point where, you know, in a future E3, I would like to see those two in the same vicinity and see what happens. Because I know Pete would probably haul off and knock him out, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, don't crap on stuff when your stuff stinks. Like, just I don't know. I've rambled enough, but this guy got what he deserved. With the exception of what he'll probably get as far as monetary, you know, reimbursement from the app. But outside of that, yeah, he deserved all that smoke, all that fire for being stupid and saying something stupid. So, you know, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So it is what it is.
I love it. Yep. Yes, actually, that's a great point. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, and also get blacklisted. Obviously, he hasn't worked on anything relevant. And I'm looking for the startup screen for Starfield. I'm going to tell you right now. Let me see if I can find it for you. Web Dave, let's get your take on this gross attempt to make money on clicking, which is what he was called out by Tom Henderson for doing. People clicked on it. He obviously is going to get ultimately going to get some money, which is, again, I get business, but man, I mean,
it's probably the only way he's making money because he's sure not getting hired as a dev anywhere.
Yep.
So there was one thing he followed up on, which I don't really want to. I'm going to skirt around it. But he replied back to all these people that are slamming on him and hating on him. It's a start screen, and then y'all act like a F to your mother. That's that same guy said that. It's like, you're the one that brought up the start screen. You're the one that called us out. And then you have the audacity to say something like that to everybody. Obviously, he's just completely trolling to get as much impact as he can on his tweets. That way he can get as much money for his impact as possible. The guy's a total loser.
Yep.
And should not be followed, listened, clicked, viewed at all. I just hopefully he'll go away. But if not, you know, he's a scumbag.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And I just don't see how anybody is going to hire him. I mean, for real, because if anything, if you're the manager on a team or a dev team, you don't want somebody like this that's gonna bring the team down, bring this kind of disgrace to your game. That would do you no good. I'll be lucky if he'd be able to wash dishes somewhere. This guy's a joke, man. Absolute. He's gone as far down as he can go, and he's sad. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, listen. I mean, we're not going to spend much more time on this. I do want to bring up the start screen, so I'm going to pause this footage for a hot second. I'm going to do a screen share so you can see what the start screen for Starfield looks like. Again, it's clean, it's simplistic. It does what it needs to do. So let me just. All right, so you can see the tweet from this knucklehead. He's got a screen cap of the. I'm going to pull it on full screen for you.
There you go.
That's the start screen, folks, for Starfield. Now that's not from me because I don't have the game. That's from this knucklehead's tweet.
Looks fine
I don't
to
know.
me.
Yeah, it's a freaking start screen. I don't get it. But it's fine because obviously he knows better. I shout out to Psychonauts8 on Twitter, who actually found this out. I'm going to do a screen grab of what he put. I think that it's pretty relevant to the conversation that we're having. I'm going to stop that screen, and I'm going to do another screen share. Pardon the craziness, because like I said, I don't like doing this on the air, but here we go. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. Okay, so check this out, folks. This is the game that he was working on. It's called Firefall. It's the beta. That's his start screen. Are we serious? Like, let's compare it to Starfield. What are we talking about here? So here is the other start screen for Firefall. Even more bland. What are we talking about? And again, I shout out to Psychonauts, who found out exactly who this guy was. And according to this person that was this was posted 4 years ago. Mark Kern wasn't fired because he didn't take a Chinese bribe. He was fired because he was an incompetent, selfish, thoughtless CEO that led an entire company into the ground. So there's that. So let's go back to stop that share and add that to the stream. There we go. So you can watch Halo some more. So Crazy Lou Gaming, turns out not only is this guy a troll, and he's taking a cheap shot of getting some money from Twitter, which in my opinion is gross, but he's a failed CEO that was fired for being lazy, for not showing up, and his start screens, which we just saw live on the air, are just as average as the Starfield start screen. And I don't mean average in a bad way. It's a freaking start screen. You start the game. How many people here stay at the start screen for more than a second to start your game? I don't care. If it sits there maybe because I'm waiting to get something from the kitchen or something. That's about as long as it's going to stay there. Let's talk about it.
Start screen. Oh man, when I saw this, I just started laughing. I was like, what like, I want to know what was he expecting from the start screen? I mean, I even started to tweet on this. I said, what was that he wanted? He wanted like what? He wanted to see probably the guy standing butt naked, looking at his butt cheeks, right? And you hit start and he starts putting on the spacesuit, right? And then suiting up, and then after he gets everything done, that's when the game launches. That's what he wanted to see. Or probably since the game has sandwiches, he wanted to see the guy, press start. Let's put the ham. Let's put the cheese. If it's gonna go hard, let's put ham, cheese, salad, and everything, and smash that sandwich in there and put it in the toaster, and then launch into the space. What? I mean, what the heck? I don't understand. What? Man, I saw this. I was just cracking up, and I was like, seriously? Out of all the things the game has, we're gonna talk bad about a start screen. And I was actually really like saying, seriously? That's what you're gonna attack about this game? The start screen? I mean, that's it? Out of all things, let's attack the start screen. Okay, so now we're gonna get into an argument. So people can say, "Oh, look at the start screen. This looks bad." I mean, let's look at the Last of Us start screen. It looks so good. I mean, you see the boat floating around. You see this. You see that. I mean, who gives a damn about a start screen? Now, as long as it got good music, though, because I know a couple of start screens that has good music that makes you sit down and listen to it. You're like, damn, this is a good jam. Let me sit there and listen to this music. But seriously, who the hell gives a damn about that? I mean. Let's talk a little bit about Destiny, right? When you start Destiny, what do you see? Oh, you see the character standing right there, the character you use or the other character, and then you just launch. That's it. Nothing. I don't understand why this simple.
It just needs to be a start screen, simplistic. What game am I playing? Starfield. Okay, yeah, I'm on the right screen. That's it.
I don't want nothing else to do. Ridiculous. I don't want anything else to do because hey, that's just gonna be a waste of their time. Like to put like, oh, let me launch a ship or an animation to a start screen. Literally, that's a little bit of a waste of the time. For me it is. But hey, it looks perfect. For me, it looks beautiful. I love how the way it looks. It's simplistic Starfield, and it tells you right there. Once you open that game, you're just gonna fly out there. And you're going to have a lot of fun because, man, look at all the news that came out about that game. And seriously, I'd rather read all that than read this tweet from this idiot, how you pointed it out, because really he's an idiot.
Oh, he got the business. It wasn't just me. He got the business. And again, like I said, this is still a small channel. I still have a small presence on social media, but when you get like someone like a Jez Corden, or you get like a Tom Henderson or a Tom Warren talking about it,
I mean, you just mess yourself up for what? For a start screen? What? Oh, man.
Yeah, just dumb. It's funny because, like I said, when you look at the game that he was CEO for, as a matter of fact, Raiden Blade has been a channel member for 27 months, brother. Thank you so much for the generosity. He says, "Look, Grum's for 7 years, you were CEO at Red 5 and never released a game. So how can you comment on anything in gaming? Mark, you are the WBG POS of the year." Yeah, I'm sure Dirt Griggity and that crew are going to be going to have a bit of a field day. And who doesn't love that kind of content? I mean, the slander is just, it's wonderful. You love to see it. Let me catch up on the super chats, and we will get to the last story of the day. Nightwolf 3186 drops a very generous $10 super chat and says, finally caught up from 3 weeks behind of yours and Rand's show. Anyways, miss you guys. Great show as always. If this title screen crap or IGN nonsense continues, it will only generate more interest. You know what? That's. I mean, I think you're onto something. I think even PlayStation diehards who really hate Xbox, all they're doing on their podcast is talking about Starfield. It's the craziest thing. Talk about Spider-Man. It's only a couple of months out. I don't understand. Your baby Farva drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, hey, Boom and panel and chat. Glad I could catch the show during my busy day. Stay blessed. Stay blessed to you as well, my brother. And thank you for being here. And of course, thank you for the generosity. Gamer by Choice drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, I hope Xbox gains market share, but realistically, that will only happen if media and public opinion change. Xbox and Microsoft are still seen negatively. I mean, there is going to come a point where they're going to have so many bullets in the chamber for first party that the places like IGN are going to have to bend the knee. Otherwise, they're going to be left behind. I mean, don't get me wrong. Microsoft kind of put themselves in the corner during the Xbox One start of that generation. And yes, they kind of dug themselves out of it, but that negative stigma stayed for a bit. And Sony's been kicking their teeth in for many, many years, especially when it comes to first-party stuff. When that changes, places like IGN are going to have to change or be left behind. There's just no doubt about it. Drawn TJ drops a very generous additional $5 super chat and says, maybe 343 makes Halo content in Starfield while we wait for the next Halo, like a mini story. Yeah, I don't see that happening. It's a fantastic idea. I think you're going to see like Halo ships being brought into, if not officially by the people developing Starfield or the mod community. I don't think there's going to be a crossover with Master Chief. I think it's brilliant. I'd love it, but I don't think that's going to happen. I want Halo to be Halo. I want the Halo 3 days. And the multiplayer, let's call it, but you see it on the screen, folks. The multiplayer is the chef's kiss. That's it. If you haven't played it in a while, get back in there and play it. It's dope. It is amazing. It's the single player story, man. I'm dying for. Infinite ended in such a cliffhanger. The fact that we're not getting any follow-up, man, is incredibly disappointing. I'm a single player dude. I mean, if there's one multiplayer game, it's Halo for me at least. But we need some single player stuff here. There's no doubt about that. Let's see. Dragon Heart Yobi. What's up, brother? How are you, man? He drops a very generous $5 super chat and says, I tagged you on Twitter. Someone made the Millennium Falcon in Starfield. The game can't come out. Dude.
Check your DM, Boom.
Oh, I'm going to check it. I mean, this is what I'm talking about, folks. I will abandon achievements so I could fly the Slave One. Who does not want to fly the Boba Fett ship? Hello, I'm going to be a bounty hunter, so yes. And who wouldn't want to fly like the Millennium Falcon? Oh, it's just.
I just want two ships. That's all. That's all I want. I want the Eagle 5 from Spaceballs, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
To run around and shoot things around with the Eagle 5.
I love it.
And I would love to get the big, what's the ship called? Oh my God, I keep forgetting the name. The Spaceball Star Cruiser or Spaceball 1 ship for my cargo because it has ludicrous speed. That's why I want.
That's hilarious. You know what? I'm an OG. I'm an 80s guy. You know what I would love? Anyone remember the Last Starfighter?
Last Starfighter. I think
that's a good movie. I'd take that ship, especially if you are able to add like the super that the thing does. It just spins around and just destroys everything. The modding community, I cannot wait to see what they bring to the table. Let's see. Jerome TJ drops an additional $5 super chat and says, hey, let's be honest, the Halo franchise has the best start screen and music. Plus, don't forget Gears of War. Yeah, I mean, the whole start screen stuff is just, man, what a shame that we had to spend 20 minutes talking about someone's stupidity. But again, I'm not going to back away from controversy. We're going to talk about it. That guy's an idiot. He got called out big time.
Another
Smitty
member
Smith.
chat too. Oh,
yes,
you got it.
drops a very a member check of 40 months. He's a channel member, brother. Thank you so much for the generosity. Says, what up, esteemed panel and chat? Salute to you, Smitty Smith, my brother. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the generosity, folks. I want to get into the last story. This one is exciting. It comes away from us of not surprising, Idle Sloth, the human being, not the robot. He put out a tweet yesterday where he talks about Jeff Grubb talking about Tango Gameworks. If you don't know who they are, they brought us HiFi Rush and obviously Ghostwire Tokyo, two very, very prominent titles for me in 2023. They hit 3 million players on HiFi Rush. That is a big deal. It is a small, it's not an indie game, but it's definitely a AA game made by a very small team of Tango. It's brilliant. If you haven't played it, be part of the conversation because it's amazing. It turns out, according to Jeff Grubb, that Microsoft is very, very, very happy with the studio. They like the studio a lot, and they are reinvesting into it, and they really care a lot about the studio having a bright future. That's according to Jeff Grubb. Now, this is no surprise because they are working on what we all imagine, the Evil Within 3, which is going to be the follow-up to the... I didn't care so much for 1 as much as I absolutely love 2. I beat 2 twice. Amazing. I don't know where they're going to go with 3. Is it going to be more action-oriented like it was in 2, or are they going to go back to the very, very roots of the survival horror of 1, or somehow find a happy medium for both? I don't know. But we know that they are working on that. I mean, I think it's safe to say. The other game that they're rumored to be working on is an anime inspired. It's not an IP that they're going to be licensing out. It's an original IP that they're making, a JRPG in the vein of like an anime inspired type of game. I say yes, please, because that would be an exclusive for Xbox. That's a JRPG coming from a very, very talented studio. And the fact that Microsoft is going to continue to reinvest in this Japanese studio is tremendous. It's what they need if they want to be relevant in that region of the world. Fuzzy Belvedere, let's get your hot take on this, man. Is this good news for the developers of HiFi Rush?
Oh, yeah, it's definitely good news. Although I do remember when Jeff got caught up before saying
he kind of did. Yeah, he sure did.
Microsoft higher ups were not happy or satisfied with the performance or something, which I thought was kind of weird considering, a shadow dropped item, not much marketing. That's the whole point behind shadow drops. And it being in Game Pass, and they had like 1 million players within a short period of time. It's like, I don't know what to expect as far as whatever info he got, maybe he got it from the wrong person in the room kind of thing. But to come back now and say, oh yeah, they're very, very happy and they're reinvesting. I mean, it kind of sounds like that was going to be the plan anyway, when they reached 1 million. And the fact that they're up to 3 million now just shows that the game has legs and it will hopefully get a sequel here in the near future. And I think they're working on like DLC as we speak. So it's awesome to hear. It's awesome to hear that they're reinvesting in these studios. I know this is going to sound like a shot at PlayStation cats, but it's like you always hear about the organic growth and, once they acquire these teams, what do they do with them? And, Microsoft doesn't know how to manage studios. It's like they reinvest to build them out and build or staff them up so they can work on multiple projects and have all the tools at their disposal. Like look at, Ninja Theory and a few other studios where they built them brand new studios and it allowed them to expand their staffing. So it's great to hear that they're, reinvesting. Hopefully we see multiple titles drop here within the next couple of years. Really curious to see how the anime inspired game that they're working on or RPG that they're working on turns out, as well as when we see further stories or maybe a part 2 or sequel to Hi-Fi Rush. And then Evil Within, definitely want to see an updated one of those, but I also want to see a part 2 to Ghostwire Tokyo, just for the fact that typically your second game is where you can expand on the story and improve. And it's a good baseline. I love the mechanics as far as the powers, and just imagine that, with more depth or expansion on that storyline in a part 2. So I'm hoping that reinvestment secures making a Ghostwire 2 in the near future as well. So always great to hear that they're, taking care of these studios, grooming them, expanding on them, growing them into, the powerhouses that they'll be down the road. So it's always great to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. Real quick, apparently it's being reported that Black Myth Wukong, inspired by the classic Japanese novel Journey to the West, is now available on Steam and the Epic Game Store. So if you are a PC guy or gal and you don't want to wait till the console release, it's available like right now, according to Xfire. They just literally posted it. It goes to xfire.com wrote the article. Black Myth Wukong is live on Steam and the Epic's Game Store. While this isn't indicative of anything, it might suggest that Black Myth Wukong is getting a release date soon. That's crazy that it's available, because then we know it's going to be shown at Jeff Keighley's show tomorrow. And we're going to get some gameplay. I know IGN had some gameplay, which of course I'm not clicking on that. I'll wait to Jeff to have it on his show, and then wait for the company to throw up the 4K version on YouTube. Dave, let's get your hot take on this, man. This is exciting, because I don't know if you missed Ghostwire Tokyo. I'm here to tell you it's one of my favorite games of the year. It's going to probably be in my top 5. There's no doubt about it. I destroyed that game. I don't have all the achievements. I want to go back into it. I don't know if there's going to be any kind of DLC. It is so good. I didn't play it when it came out for PlayStation 5 because I knew it was eventually going to come to the Xbox. It's such an amazing game. It has such potential to be so more. The atmosphere of it is, again, if you're a fan of that kind of J horror, you're really gonna enjoy it. Dave, this is great news. Microsoft does own a Japanese studio. They put out back-to-back hits in Ghostwire Tokyo, and of course the follow-up to Hi-Fi Rush. This is great news that they're reinvesting. Maybe they even double the size of the studio. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, it's kind of what Phil was talking about, how they really need to grow in that market, and if they already have this company there, like a foothold, it makes so much sense to grow there. Which I'm not saying that's the only thing they're going to do. We all hope that they buy a Japanese publisher, Square, Sega, somebody would be awesome. But investing in a company that obviously, the big surprise of Hi-Fi Rush was really well received, and the growth there, I think, is it's nice that they get rewarded for their hard work, and I think that it's just really it's just the beginning of what they're really going to be doing over the next year or so. I think that we're going to really see, especially after the ABK deal is done, we're going to see a lot of things that have been kind of in the works, things we've seen from the court case documents of where they've been trying to get a foothold, and I think that this is really going to continue to predicate that they actually it's a good thing that they're reinvesting basically in a company and for that foothold. It's good for us, good for gaming, and it's exciting because there's so many amazing games being made, and they can't all be the same. So What's great is to have the variety, the choices, and I love it. It's great, man. It's good news.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 real quick shout outs. Shroshun Impenger says, Boom letting the fact that he got a code slip. Dude, from your mouth to the gaming's god ears. I wish because trust me when I tell you, if I get a code and I'm still trying, I'm going to take a picture of the start screen and say I'm one of them, meaning I'm part of the Jeff Grubb crew and the Paris Lily crew and the rest of the people playing this game, because I really want to do a big review. I'm actually going to do a real on video-esque review, but I'm not going to be able to do it if I get it the same day as everybody else. I got to get some time. I got to record some footage. I got to record the voiceover. It's a 15-minute video is going to take me 15 hours to do. And that's just the fact. I don't have a code. I wish. I'm trying. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I'm not trying to get one, but believe you me, because I know that everyone else that did it, that got a code, like, hey, downloading it, I will take a picture of the screen and throw it up on Twitter. And I will say this in advance: the channel is relatively small. We have the views. We're closing in on 5 million views. People like the show. It's still small though in regards to metrics. I don't know if we get a code. I hope so. I really do. Trust me. But I'll let everyone know if I get one. Sin, good friend of the program, says this: Double Barrel Gaming and panel. If you think IGN is dumping on all things Xbox, then return the favor by predicting all of the potential Starfield review headlines, calling them out as predictable. I mean, look, I'm not getting paid for this, folks. Like, I do this. I mean, I love gaming. I love Xbox. I do this out of the love of the industry and the brand. They don't need Mr. Boomstick defending their honor. Xbox is not giving me anything. I'm hoping that whoever is tasked to review this game is going to review the game and not to put dip their toe into the water of what can get more clicks. And I think that if people who are disingenuous in the industry, who Microsoft is aware of, are bestowed these codes, which some people take for granted. Of course I don't. I was tasked to review 2 games. I don't review a lot of games, but 2 Microsoft reached out to me twice. One for Gears 5, which Rod Ferguson congratulated me and thanked me for my review. And that one took me 15 hours. And then Forza Horizon 5, I did a review for. They're up on the channel right now. They're probably some of my best work. And they took a long freaking time. I hope that if some of these disingenuous a-holes who are given this gift of being allowed to review this game before everyone else gets to play it, and they give disingenuous opinions for effing clicks, I hope they're put on the pay no mind list at Microsoft. Honestly, I don't know what else to say. Because at that point, you're not going to win people over. If they're scumbags, folks, they're just going to be scumbags regardless of whether you give them a code or you don't. I would be watching this with a keen eye if I was Microsoft. I don't know. Crazy Lou Gaming, let's get your hot take on this, brother. Reinvestment into Tango Gameworks, I think, is the right move. They put out back-to-back good games, 2 of which came to Xbox this year. One was a PlayStation exclusive. It's an original IP. It's J Horror. If you're a fan of that, I think you're going to dig this game. And HiFi Rush, one of the most innovative new releases, like a breath of fresh air into the gaming industry. Very Jet Set Radio inspired in the way that it tells its story. What are your thoughts on the confirmed reinvestment into the studio?
Awesome. I mean, it's fantastic. They will deserve it because they work really hard. They do an awesome job. And I'm just happy that they shadow dropped this game and this game actually released, because, hey, I played it the other day, went through it, beating it, and man, oh man, what a fun game. I've still not played Ghostwire Tokyo, but yes, I will jump to it. But man, they will deserve it. And I'm happy that Microsoft is letting all these studios, sit there and do the game they want. Hey, go out there, do the game. I mean, look at Grounded. Grounded was also another fantastic game that came out. And it was a team of 4 people working on it, probably close to 10 or something. But it was a small team.
Yeah.
And they did a really good job. So by letting this guy, the person who worked on HiFi Rush release it, that was awesome. I mean, that's how the game came out without any issues. It played flawlessly, nice and neat. And man, oh man, what a fun game. So yeah, why not invest? Keep investing and keep letting all those developers, make the game they want to make. Because when they make the game they want to make, they give it more love than then you forcing them to make a game they do not want to work in it. So super happy, with that news. 3 million players, fantastic. I hope that that just keeps on growing, and I hope they get to 10 million because they well deserve it. And yes, it should get announced for for GOTY, for Game of the Year nominee, because that game was wow.
Yeah, I mean, mind you, this was a shadow drop type of title. Like we had heard rumblings that they were working on something. Actually, Jeff Grubb actually, I think, broke that story originally, and it turns out that not only was this game amazing, but from a technical point of view, it's probably one of the most polished games released this year. Like games have been notoriously known to come out with bugs. This game was like straight up fire. Like there was nothing wrong. You didn't hear anybody. Now again, you're going to get a bug every now and again, but this game, if there were one game that you could look to and point and say, "Wow, that's a perfect looking playing game," it's probably HiFi Rush. Game Shark says this after dropping a $5 super chat. Reforge got a code. It said watch on YouTube. That is scandalous. I love it. Love you, Boom. If anybody deserves a code, it's you. Dude. I mean, listen. I'm doing the work because I love Xbox. I'm put my name in the hat. Hopefully, I get picked. I know that there are a couple of rounds. Like there's like from what I was told, there's like a first tier, which the Iron Lords got it, rightfully so. Which, by the way, I listened to that interview with Peter Moore. Oh my God, some of their best work. If you missed it, Peter Moore, Mr. Tattoo, was on the Iron Lords podcast for almost 2 hours. Fantabulous. Obviously, Jess Cord, he works for Windows 10. Of course, he's going to get one. Randall Thor, Mr. Xbox, Colt Eastwood, a few others. Listen, whoever got them rightfully deserved them. Maybe I'm in tier 2. We can only hope. If all I need is like 5 days before the preview for everyone else, and I could put out a really good video. Because while the preview is going on, I could then... These videos are... I'll put it this way. If you don't know about video production, folks, and I learned this the hard way, and I talked to Colt, and I talked to Rand, and I talked to Dealer, for every minute of a video, 1 minute equates to about an hour. So if I do a 15-minute video, it's going to take me about 15 hours to do. That's how much production goes into this. It's not just, you speak on a mic, you get it in there. I'm more meticulous. I use something called Audacity. And, like when you hear someone stop talking, I cut all of that out. And when you do 15 minutes of that and you're cutting, you got to, I listen to a 15-minute session, I don't know, about 70 times before I'm done. And I'm cutting. It's a lot of work. So I need time to be able to do this. Hopefully I'm allotted that time. Again, I put my name in the hat. I don't have the code yet. Hopefully I will get one. And if not, well, then we'll talk about it live on the podcast because that's all I'm going to have time for. And that's perfectly fine. But ladies and gentlemen, we broke records today. We had an amazing conversation. 3 topics. 2 were, they're a bit negative. But like I said, I'm not going to shy away from negativity because I don't like being negative. But I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it out when I see it. And I think you folks you appreciate it because we had well over 800 people here, which is a record for this show. Ton of super chats that have come in. We had another one that's come in from Nightwolf. He drops an additional $5 super chat and says Crimson Desert is making an appearance at Gamescom this week. That game looked amazing. Many may not remember, but look it up. It's ambitious AF. Yeah, I'm not an MMO guy, which is why I never got into the online Skyrim. ESO is just I know you can play it single player. It's just not my bag. But if you're an MMO, folks, yeah, definitely go and check that out. But listen, folks, Thank you so much for being here. A big shout out for all of the channel members that have joined, that's still here, that dropped messages today. A big thank you to all the super chats that have come in. Let's get to the outros, and we'll get everyone out of here. Crazy Lou Gaming, brother. Let's talk about the Xbox International Podcast, where people can subscribe, but more importantly, reach out to you on social media and potentially see you singing in the shower.
I don't know. Twitter's been banning a lot, so I'm pretty scared to take a shower now. But anyways, you can find me at Twitter, X, or whatever it's called, Crazy Louis Gaming, where I say good morning, do all sorts of cool stuff. You can also find me at the Xbox International Podcast, which sometimes I do Playing with Crazy, or as we do our podcast each and every Wednesday, Silent Cypher, Sour Blow, and the Big Plume, 7 p.m. ET. I don't know if I'm going to be on this Wednesday because we got a storm coming in. So let's cross fingers, see if it goes away. And yes, let me mention these guys because, of course, we got to mention them. XBI en Español with Eternal Sedai and Ascal Gaming on Fridays at 7 p.m. ET. So if you guys speak Spanish, go over there and subscribe.
Yes.
And hey, Mr. Boomstick, like always, thank you so much for having me on here. As we do every single Monday here at the Xbox Launch Free Special, having loads of fun and talking about what's going on each and every single week. Thank you so much, brother.
Thank you, brother. Real quick, Percolator 9000 he's a Steeler fan like me, looking good. They did a good job the other day. He drops a very generous $2. Super Chat says, "Boom! I can see a crossover with Flight Sim and Starfield. Abso-freaking-lutely. I mean, there's a Pelican you can fly right now from Halo, so I would imagine so." We also have a very good friend all the way from Colorado, Jimbo Jangles, drops a very generous $10 super chat, says, "Hey, Boom and crew, sorry if you already touched on it. I just got here, but these Xbox wraps that were announced today look dope. I'm buying the Starfield one for sure." Yeah, we actually, thanks to Fuzzy and Crazy Lou Gaming, we opened up with some breaking news. I ordered mine live on the air. Like there's some times where you don't hear anybody talk, and it's because I'm typing away. I got it. It's locked in. It's gonna sell out quick. I know it is. But yeah, shout out to you, brother. Those wraps look definitely dope. And I gotta be honest, I think that's the future of custom consoles for Xbox, because $50 is about the same price. Maybe it's a little bit cheaper than the plates for Sony. But the Sony plates are dope. Like I bought the Spider-Man ones. I cannot wait to put that on my PS5 and have the control along with it. But listen, Web Dave, let's sell your brand. First of all, you're one of the best in the business when it comes to one-on-one interviews. And your interview today that you dropped is with none other than Paris Lilly himself. Holy matrimony. Talk about it, sell your brand, and where can people reach out to you on social media?
The video dropped this morning. It's already got over 400 views, lots of nice comments. We talked for an hour and a half, and I'll tell you, he did most of the talking. It was great. He a lot of things you didn't know about him, and a lot of things you'll find out if you watch that. And he really truly is good for the community. He's an amazing individual. Wears his heart on his sleeve, and he does. He's right out there, and we cover a lot of things. We there's an embargo, so we couldn't go certain places, but I wasn't trying to go there. So, that's NDAs are important, but everything else and some interesting things we do talk about are very, very fascinating. And there was some interesting conversations in the green room afterwards, but it's a really good interview. And last night's episode that we did, there's another member chat.
I'll get it, brother. I'll get it. Don't sweat it.
But last night's episode of Gamers Council, where we had the Plume Network, Tony from Plume Network, who does a daily show. He's fantastic, exactly. And then and we also had One Bad Mother on there. OBM was there as a guest again, nice. and it was a great show, and it ended up going like 2.5 hours as well. And we had a lot of fun, and it's got some amazing views. So. Thank you all so much. And Boom, thank you so much for having me on. None of it would be without you. So I appreciate you, man. Thanks, buddy.
Listen, I appreciate the high praise, but brother, you do the work. I simply just gave you an audience to find you out. That's the hardest thing with this is someone giving someone a shot. Like I said, Mooch, like him, love him, hate him, gave me my shot. Right? I asked to be on the show. I thought it was going to be the bucket list kind of a thing. And I was guesting one day, guesting the following Friday, guesting Friday after that. And I became a permanent panel member for Crossfire. Now, again, Crossfire has changed. It's not the same Crossfire that I remember. It's a little bit chaotic, which is, that's their brand. But I have to always give credit to Mooch for allowing me to have a voice in the community. And of course, all these years later, I now have a network of shows Monday through Friday. So that's why I try to invite so many new faces, and because I always want to pay it forward. That's the whole point of it, is give someone their shot. And so far I've had hundreds of people on. I've only had one D-bag, which is great. That means I'm vetting the people correctly.
And you still keep me around. Thanks, Boom.
Oh, stop it. We have Chaos Theory. He's been a channel member, folks. Gee whiz, 45 months. That is crazy. Brother, thank you so much for supporting the channel in such a big way. He says, holy cow, 45 months, and it's been that long. You are still a pillar of the community. That is very kind of you to say. And listen, I love being a good guy. I say this, and I know people may not agree with me. I will rather lose to be the good guy than win to be the bad one. And I know that's not everyone's bag, but it's my bag. My Mrs. BoomStick makes fun of me all the time. Like, she calls me Captain America because I want to help as many people. I love everybody. That's just my brand. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that this world needs more love, to be honest with you. But speaking of love, this handsome man in front of us with the best bald head in the business, Fuzzy Belvedere, sell your brand, brother. You got a big, I hope we can see a big push to 1K during the release of Forza Motorsport, because obviously your channel, the best place for anything and everything in the racing genre. Plus, you find yourself on many other shows. Where can people reach out to you on social media? But more importantly, subscribe to your outstanding YouTube channel.
Just want to start off by thanking you for having me on, and it's always awesome being on here with you, Web Dave, and Crazy Lou. It's just awesome, like breaking news and talking about this game that's coming out in like a little over a week. Yeah, everything is buzzing right now. It's like Christmas Eve before we even get to Forza. So this is going to be a nice, next couple of months here before the year is out, when we got a bunch of games to play. But always appreciate being here with you guys. Always appreciate everyone that checks us out live and tunes in every week for this show and a lot of Boom's other shows. Definitely hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't as well. Just want to thank everybody in the chat as well. If you like hearing my rambles or rants on anything gaming related, just follow me on the app formerly known as Twitter at Fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also find me on YouTube, Fuzzy Belvedere altogether, doing some Forza videos about motorsport. We'll be talking about tires and tire compounds here soon. But you can also find me on Fun Speculations channel for FSP later on tonight, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again on Fun Speculations channel. And then be right back here for Breakfast with Boom with the family, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Friday. Look forward to seeing you guys there. Thanks again.
Shout out to Jesus Lopez in the chat. He's asking if we're going to live stream Gamescom. Unfortunately, we're just not. It's too long of a stream. I don't know exactly when On Live starts. If it's during the show, we're just going to do tomorrow's Xbox Factor podcast as normal. Talk about whatever the hot topic is, what's come out, and if there is breaking news, we will talk about it. Like for instance, if Wukong is announced for Xbox Game Pass, which it could be. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that it could be. Would be kind of dope. And shout out to Lito Papa, Boss Mod Lito Papa, keeping these streets safe from the knuckleheads. There is someone that was in the chat that people were complaining about. He's banned. Mr. $4,000 PC, he can SAD. And DM me if you want to know what that means in real term. I won't say it live on the air, but it's not nice. So if you know what the words SAD stand for, you can giggle like Fuzzy is. I won't say it live on the air. We don't want those types of nonsense people here. Come hang out, enjoy PlayStation. Just don't be a troll. Because if you're a troll, if Lethal ain't gonna get you, I'm definitely gonna get you. And I can't have you here disrupting my chat because these fine folks, come listen to good stuff, and I'm not gonna listen to nonsense. But other than that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for making this one of the most successful live chat Xbox lunch break special shows that we've had. Over 800 people. That's a big deal. If you're new and finding the channel for the first time, I ask you that you consider subscribing. And of course, while you're still here, get those likes up, folks. Because otherwise, I'm going to get yelled at by Rand Althor for not asking. He's a good dude, and I love Rand. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to close out the show with something that's incredibly important to me. Hopefully one day be important to you. And that's something that my dad taught us when we were kids. And he would say, Craig, treat others how you want to be treated. And also, it doesn't cost anything to be nice. You live by those rules, Craig. I can guarantee you're going to have an awesome day. So take care, everyone. And we'll see you next week on the newest episode of the Xbox Lunch Break Special.